Hi everybody, it's Thursday, February 2nd, 2012. Thanks for stopping by. Racism is like slapping your child because it's raining outside. It's stupid, cruel, and you're punishing an innocent person for something they didn't do. And it does nothing to solve the thing that you're really worried about. Frequently people they misdirect their anger, their frustrations. They blame things that have nothing to do with their real problems. This is something that it's just a common human failing. So it is quite expected to see people do this, but it's also tragic and dangerous when people blame other people for things they have nothing to do with, based on their religion or their skin color or their sexual orientation or anything like that. It could be anything. And perhaps we shouldn't say racism as such, because race is a very dubious concept to begin with, but we should say prejudice and bigotry. But the really sad thing is people just don't seem to mind those things anymore. The only thing that people are still afraid of is to be labeled as a racist. People aren't afraid to be called prejudiced or bigoted anymore. They don't see that as really being morally repugnant, I don't think. But they're scared of being correctly identified as a racist, because everyone knows what that has led to in the past. Don't be racist. Don't be prejudiced. Don't be bigoted. There's no sense in it. Don't ever hate people because of things they have no control over. Don't wish people harm because of the way they were born. That makes no sense. They had nothing to do with that. If you are angry over the state of the world today, if you're angry over Israel destroying the Palestinians, don't hate Jews. That makes no sense. Don't blame them all because of what those people who are in power happen to be doing at the moment. Don't think that they're all evil. Even if they support Israel, don't think that they're evil because of that. Because a lot of people are just misguided and uninformed. They're not really evil. And they're certainly not evil because of their religion. So you can't judge people that way. Don't hate Muslims just because you're angry at the way some Muslims treat women, or the way that some dictators in the Middle East who happen to be Muslim behave. Don't blame Muslims for that. That makes no sense. And don't blame Christians every time someone murders an abortion provider. It's about time we recognize that nobody on this earth is innocent. Nobody is an angel, and nobody is a demon either. We're all just imperfect, and we all do bad things sometimes. But it's not because of our birth. It's not the way we were born. And it's not because we follow some evil religion. There's no evil religions. Even Satan worshipers believe that they're the good guys. So how could you believe that these people are studying the Torah or the Quran and making an evil little laugh and scheming to destroy the world? They're not doing that, folks. They're not scheming to rule the world or to plunge the world into chaos or darkness. They just think they're right. And it's okay. It's okay for them to think that. Until they come to you and they tell you something is really, really horrible, you shouldn't judge them. So, a lot of people have been telling me that there's a big white genocide going on. And this was big news to me. It's big news. I had no idea that I was being killed. My whole race is being killed somehow for being white. It looked to me like white people were doing all right. I mean, the poor people in America are suffering. Don't get me wrong. Even white people in America are suffering, but we're a hell of a lot better off than the African Americans who have twice as much unemployment as we do. Much more poverty. They are about 90% of the federal drug convictions in federal prison, and about 50% of the total drug convictions are African American. And they are about 13% of the populace and about 13% of the drug users, believe it or not. They are no more likely to use drugs per capita than white people. Okay? But they're the ones in prison. But somehow those people are exterminating white people. And you know how they're doing it? By existing. That's right. They're existing. That means they're destroying our culture, which they built. At least 50% of it, maybe more. But they're destroying it. And they're blending us out of existence. Because somehow human beings have never mixed before. Now all of a sudden they are. Isn't that funny? Like, human beings mixed with Neanderthals, but they never mixed with black people, even though we all started out black. Now tell me this. If we were all Africans to begin with, and being around Africans is exterminating white people, how did we get here? How did we ever exist to begin with? I mean, did we not have any mixing with ourselves? I just don't understand how people can believe that if you're white, you need to have a white community, and there needs to be no people of color, Latino, African, anything else. It's got to be all white. And if a black couple moves in to that neighborhood or moves next door to you, God forbid, somehow they've exterminated you. And somehow they have destroyed you, they've killed you and your family, they've killed your whole culture just because their skin was a different color. Now, if you hear somebody say that there's a white genocide going on, okay, you need to really question that person about what the function their brain is serving in their body. Is their brain really just something to keep their head from, I don't know, being filled with air? Is it just there for the mass, or is it actually doing anything? And if someone tells you that being anti-racist is really a code word for anti-white, you need to ask them if they support racism against white people. Because if you don't support racism against white people, you're anti-racist, and that makes you anti-white, doesn't it? And so you had better support racism against white people unless you are an anti-white racist. There's no other way. Because according to this argument, being against racism is racist. Thanks for watching.